Happy Monday, a day when we continue our engagement in a world into which God has placed us, even though it might not be the place or the way that we would like it to be. Now, on Sunday, Pastor Cecil reminded us that even though we're living in a place that isn't the way that we want it to be or the way that God promised it to be yet, we are still called to engage and to live in this place now. Even though we long for the future when God's kingdom returns and when things are all made new, right now we need to live in this place and engage in this particular world. And that can be difficult for us because we long for things to be different. And it's hard sometimes to kind of accept the reality of the way the world is, particularly now with COVID and this pandemic and all of the other precautions that we are forced to take at this particular moment. We just want it to be different. But we know that it's not going to be different anytime soon, and we still have to wait for things like a vaccine. But even the vaccine isn't going to be the miracle cure to all society's ills and woes. And his message reminded me of a book I read not that long ago. It's this one by Michael Frost. It's called Exiles, Living Missionally in a Post-Christian World. How do we live as people that are sent by God into a world that seems to be turning away from, or has turned away from, kind of traditional religion particularly, and Christianity in general? And one of the images that he uses is Samuel Mockbee. As a Christian, he found it very, very difficult to engage in his work the way that he did because it was only the rich and powerful who were able to engage his service and build beautiful buildings. And he felt guilty about that. He had asked this question. He said, why can only the wealthy live in beautiful buildings? So Mockbee decided to change his career, and he created a rural school of architecture. And in doing so, he would charge his students to go into the back countries of Alabama, different places, find a rundown, derelict building that someone was still living in, walk up to that building, knock on the door, and offer to build them a new, beautiful building made out of recycled materials that they found from other places. This is how Frost described it. Mockbee and his students built some astonishing homes for their clients. The goat house was once a yellow stucco house so run down that the goats had taken up residence there. The rural studio literally cut the house in two, pulled each half apart so that a soaring cathedral-like hall could be inserted. The inserted section, all from recycled beams and cladding, rises through the middle of the original building to create a dramatic effect. Inside, floor-to-ceiling windows flood the chamber with natural light, revealing an airy and comfortable space, framed by natural timbers and polished wooden floors. Mockbee students designed the unique construction and built it at a cost of just $12,000, and then it was given to the client free of charge. Another example is a butterfly house, an energy-efficient home given to Anderson and Ora Lee Harris. It features a winged timber roof, so it has like wings on the timber roof, and a screened-in porch made out of recycled wood and tin. It was made wheelchair accessible for Mrs. Harris and was built at a cost of only $25,000. It says Alabama is now dotted with homes, churches, playgrounds, and community centers created by graduates of Mockbee's School of Socially Conscious Architecture. And this all started because Samuel Mockbee heard the call from God to use his talents and his gifts to do something impactful and beautiful. Frost says this: for too long, the church has fallen into the dualistic pattern that it's either one or the other, seeing someone's job as a secular endeavor while valuing his or her role within the church as holy or righteous. It's as though God couldn't be bothered with our careers, but when we turn up for a worship service or join a church committee or attend a Bible study, God suddenly snaps to attention. That's crazy. God is intimately interested in the day-to-day lives of all people, no matter where they work. And seeing our job as our mission isn't just about using our place of business as an arena for personal witnessing. It involves recognizing that we can, in part, fulfill our calling to serve God through the very work that we do. We earn money of our jobs, of course, and we give some of that back to the church for sure, but our personal motivation as exiles is to do our work as an expression of our relationship with God. And that's why Jeremiah told those Israelites, you're going to be here a while, so settle down, build houses, expand your family, and work for the peace and the prosperity of the city into which you are living. And so that is the same call for all of us. And I hope that the story of Samuel Mockbee would inspire you to see the ways in which you can use your talents, your gifts, and abilities to make this world a better place, and not just for the rich and powerful. And as always, if you found this useful and helpful, then I encourage you to like and to subscribe and maybe comment on the ways in which you have seen someone else engaging in the world in a way that inspired you to see God in action.